What is going on, YouTube? Welcome to the Selling with DK show. I'm Dylan King. I'm a business coach and a course creator, and I've sold over $3 million in digital products.
Okay.
And if you are interested in growing your online business, in signing more coaching clients, selling more online courses, then I invite you to subscribe to the channel and join me as you build your digital empire. Now, a few things before we get started, just some housekeeping items. This is the very first video that I've ever posted on YouTube. So you found it. If you've been like digging around for other videos that I'm going to release in the future and you're like, I want to find the first one, this is it. And I'm excited to be here. I'm a little bit nervous, got to be honest, but it had to happen. It's been too long of me wanting to hop on YouTube and to teach on YouTube. So I am here, and I am starting in the same place that I started with my Instagram account, with my business in general, from zero. I have absolutely no subscribers on YouTube, and I'm wanting this to be a little bit of encouragement and motivation for you. Is if you need to, put yourself out there. Start creating content. Start creating a brand, a personal brand, so that people can become aware of you and can find you and can learn from you in whatever your area of expertise is. So a little bit of encouragement before we get started. Now, I want to start off this entire YouTube channel world that I'm creating over here with a high-level overview. So that's what this video is going to be. It's going to be a high-level overview of how you can grow your online business. And I'm going to show you how I've helped over 500 students grow their online businesses inside of my Launch 1M program, kind of my signature flagship offer. And so if this is you, if you're stuck in your online business and you want a consistent and reliable stream of leads with a painful problem and money to spend, so they're really good leads, high quality leads, they're reaching out to you in your DMs, and they're already pre-sold on your high ticket offer because you've done such a good job nurturing them, and all of that without constantly posting on social media, sending cold DMs, spamming messages, or guessing about where your next sale is going to come from, then this video is going to show you everything that you need to know, kind of a high-level overview of how this system works. And this is a proven system. I've seen it work over and over in all kinds of different niches with different kinds of personal brands and backgrounds. So I am really sure and confident that this could work for you as well. And the answer is to run simple ads and to set up simple automations inside of a personal brand. Again, all of these are past clients or people that have gone through my Launch 1M program. So let's talk about it. This is the full sales system, and it all starts at the top of your funnel. Okay, so how do you generate traffic? This is the awareness phase. So you're going to get new eyeballs on your accounts, and the idea here is we need to answer the question: why should I follow this person? What does this person have to teach or to talk about that's of any interest to me? And so that's one of the first questions that we have to answer. These are complete strangers when they come into your world. They don't know anything about you. And so whether they find you with ads or with organic content on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, wherever you are marketing yourself, this is the top of your funnel. And without this, nothing else matters. They have to find you first, then we can do all the other things, right? So when someone goes through the top of your funnel and they graduate, now they're like, okay, yes, I should follow this person. I am interested in this person. Now they're a new follower. So whether it's a subscriber on YouTube, whether it's a follower on Instagram, whether it's someone that is just lurking in the background, maybe they're not even following you at all, like officially, but they see all of your content because they always go to your page and they're always clicking on your ads. So whatever, they're in your world. This is the engagement phase. This is where you can nurture and build trust with those people that can continually see you. And the question that you're answering here is this person for real? You have to pass that sniff test. So in this whole section, what we're trying to do is we're trying to show how credible you are. We're trying to show how real your system is, that it really does work for people. So we're giving a lot of like social proof and proving to them that you're not just all talk. And then finally, they become a lead. They join your email list. And this is where you can start sending them to a sales page or booking a call with someone on your team. And this is where you can prove to them that this is the real deal and you're answering the question, is this program for real? So no longer is it about you, it's now about your program. Is this something that I want to be a part of, something that will actually work for me? And then once they become a customer, then the idea is like, okay, how can we get them those results? And so we want to make sure that we're giving them lots of, accountability, support, the roadmap to follow in order to get those results. But what I want to do is kind of take a moment here to give you a more detailed overview of how to specifically generate those leads, to nurture the leads, to convert those leads. And so what we're going to do is we're going to be talking through now the overall system. So this is how it works, okay? So in the lead gen phase, there are going to be, this is like the automated system from a 30,000 foot view. So you start with paid ads, okay? You can obviously have organic content as well, but paid ads are the most automated version of how you can generate leads, right? You spend $1 and you get a lead on your list, and then somehow over the course of this sales cycle, you can turn that $1 into $4 in sales. And all that you have to do to make more money is to increase your ad spend. And so that's why it's so scalable. As opposed to organic content, there's a lot that goes into organic content and it's very important. But at the same time, it's the scalability of your ads. That's really where that comes in. So we're running paid ads to a landing page, and there's two different options. We can either run our ads to a freebie where we give someone a free gift and we just collect a name and email address, or we can send that traffic to a low ticket funnel where someone is actually paying for some sort of low price digital product of some kind. And in the checkout, there is an order bump and an upsell. So that's this upsell sequence. And then you officially have a lead. Okay. Now it's time to nurture the lead. So when we nurture the lead, we're going to do that in a couple different ways. Number one, we're going to do that in all of your organic profiles, right? So we're not going to stop doing things on social media, but we are going to be using other more automated versions of nurture systems so that we can complement whatever you're doing on social media, so that it's not required. You don't have to be on social media all the time if you don't want to be. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be building an email sequence, and that goes in tandem with everything that you're doing on social media. The email sequence is a pre-written set of emails sent over the course of days and weeks that you've already written. It's automatically delivered to this person's inbox, so you're not actually taking your time to send these emails, but those emails are going to be nurturing this lead and sending them to either talk with you in your DMs, same with your content. It's going to be sending people to chat with you in your Instagram DMs, or it will be sending people to a sales page or to book a sales call. So these are the different options for converting the lead. And ultimately, it's going to lead to that sale at the checkout, and we're going to reinvest that money back into ads, and it's going to fuel the system. So $1 in, $4 out, $3 profit, reinvest, and then $3 in, $9 out, and scale. Okay, and then let's talk about the value delivery system. So yes, you could have the one-on-one coaching, a service of some kind, but the more automated version of that coaching program is going to be an online course. It's a self-study program. You pre-record the content, you upload it into a members area, and someone purchases that offer, and then after the sale, there's no additional work from you. And, no extra work involved, and they will get the same transformation as long as they take the steps. Okay, so you take those massive results and you inject your marketing with case studies. So you inject it into your organic content, you inject it into your paid ads, and it will continue to fuel itself. Now there's even more social proof for your audience that the program works because you're getting all of these amazing testimonials and case studies. And then finally, we need to weave your personal branding into every facet of this automated system, right? So nothing will really work unless you are yourself, unless you're authentic, and not just yourself, but unless you have some sort of like message that's persuasive, that really resonates with the pain points that your audience is feeling, and then can move them to action, that you have enough conviction inside of your brand to say, this is what you need, and this is I have the solution for your problems, right? These are your problems and I can help you. And so as long as you are having a very strong brand, we woven into all of these different aspects, you are going to have a automated online business. And that's how it works. From a high level overview, that's exactly what I teach inside of Launch 1M for my students. Okay, and then here's a couple more. People that have gone through the program and seen amazing results. But I want to take a moment now to talk about my story, because I don't know if you know my story at all, but there was a time in my life when I had a really successful online business as a business coach, and it was a really really incredible period of my life. I had 4 daughters, but went through the darkest season of my life when I became separated and basically a single parent. And in that season of my life, I was paralyzed with grief. Like I couldn't get out of bed, and I had this online business that was working in the background, but it took all of my strength just to show up and be present for my kids. Just to be able to say like, "Hey, I'm going to show up and give them all I have today," because I had nothing left. I was heartbroken, and I didn't have any energy to create anything on social media, like absolutely nothing. And I was this close to saying, you know what, I don't think I can actually keep this business going, because I was I was just so shook up by this thing that was sprung on me that I wasn't anticipating, planning at all. And so what ended up happening in this season, this darkest season of my life, is I really leaned into automations. I really leaned into the system that I just laid out for you, running ads, growing my email list without showing up on social media, and converting those leads throughout an email sequence that I pre-wrote and a sales page that I pre-wrote. And it worked. And I don't think that I would be where I am today if I didn't have that set up, because I literally had nothing to give. Like my energy was completely gone. And so this is what ended up happening. I had a low ticket funnel that I ran my ads to. There was 3 offers in my low ticket funnel. So there was Automation Bootcamp, that was being sold for $7. Untemplated was an order bump, and Ads Mastery was an upsell. And that was it. That's all I sold on the front end to generate a lead with my ads. And then I had my high ticket program, Launch 1M, on the back end as my like signature offer. And in this season, I only managed my ad campaigns for about 10 minutes a day. And as long as you have your ads dialed in, that is what it takes. You have to check in on your ads, make sure that there's no sudden spikes in cost, make sure that you don't have ads that are completely fatigued. So you might have to spend some time to create new ads and upload them to test. But in general, on average, it took me 10 minutes a day. Sometimes it was like a 1-minute thing, just making sure that the sales were good and the ad costs were low, and that was it. Others were like, hey, I'm going to like actually create some content. I managed my team for 10 minutes a day, and then I hung out in my DMs for about 40 minutes a day. So like I said, hanging out in your Instagram DMs or your Facebook Messenger is a really incredible way to have a more hands-on control over your conversion rates, making sure that those leads actually become buyers. It's not required. You can even outsource it. It's not something that you have to spend your time doing, but I've found that was a very important use of my time. And in this period of time in my life when I was going through heartbreak and separation and I had no energy, it was about a 2-year period. This is what happened. This is what it looked like. I was able to spend almost $200,000, but I turned that ad spend into about $561,000 in sales. And then same here, I spent a little bit less the next year, made a little bit less, but again, a very similar spread. And I share this because if you want this is 100% possible for you. It's like the best insurance policy for whatever may happen in your life. It might be a relationship issue. It might be a health problem that you run into. It might be some other unforeseen emergency that pops up in your life and you don't expect it. And to have this set up, this is a life-changing business because when it is set up correctly, it is able to run without you. And all you have to do is show up and maintain it and make sure that it's all working together and it's not completely breaking down. So super powerful. But when I think about this, like, yeah, that's great. You could be spending $200,000 and making this much, and life is great. You have the income of like a doctor, and you're hardly spending the time to, that a doctor is spending. But you may be watching this and you're like, I don't even need that. Like, Dylan, like, that's not even, I would be happy if I could just make a full-time income with my online business. I don't even need to like kill it, blow it out of the park, and I don't even need it to be automated. I'm willing to put in the work. I'm willing to spend the time to grow this business. Well, like, the good news is that you are in the right place. If you are able to get this going to be a full-time income, then you can stop your 9 to 5, any other side gigs that you have, and you can focus fully on this business. And over time, as you start to grow it and start to increase the number of sales that you have in your business, then you can outsource, then you can delegate, then you can set up more automations to take over more active things that you were doing inside of your business. And it can be completely automated. But here is the key. It all starts with a successful coaching business. So even if you want to have a bunch of digital products, even if you want to make it big and create all these like little mini courses and ebooks and all audio downloads, and you want people to buy these tiny little offers from you, in my opinion, what I've seen, and I'm just speaking from my own journey of how I built my business, having a coaching business is the best way to get to that place, even if your end goal is not to be a full-time coach trading time for money. It all starts with having a successful coaching offer. And there's a couple reasons why. Having a high ticket offer means more online income for the same amount of effort. That is something that I've found. Even when you have a low ticket offer of some kind, it takes the same amount of energy. You still have to, if you want it to be automated, you still have to set up your ads. You still have to write your email sequence. You still have to create a sales page or what all the different things. And it takes time to create that regardless of whatever price you're offering. And if someone is wanting a big enough pain solved, then they are willing to spend money for that high ticket offer. It also is very important when you're running ads to have a high ticket offer of some kind. Some people, they get away with it. They're able to run ads profitably, and they have, in general, like mid-ticket or low-ticket offers, but they still have high-ticket offers on the background, and that's where really the profit is. What I will show you inside of my business is that you have these low-ticket funnels. You're running ads to those, and essentially you're breaking even with that low-ticket funnel and sending free leads, free in quotes, because you are spending money in ads, but you're breaking even with cash from the low ticket offers. And so then everything that you make with a high ticket offer in the back end of everything, that's pure profit. And then your successful coaching clients will create your course for you. What I've found in my business is that the roadmap to actually get someone results is not found within me. It's found within the people I work for. It's found within my coaching clients. And my coaching clients, when I first started my business, actually ended up creating the curriculum for my online course. I basically just bottled up the whole system of what worked when I was coaching them every single week, hopping on a Zoom call and talking through their problems with them. And after a while, I realized all of my clients had a pattern of what they were struggling with. It was something that all of them across the board were dealing with, and I was able to find something that worked for them. And every single time I recommended a specific thing, a specific solution, it worked for them. So I'm like, okay, well, perfect. That's the solution for this core problem. And as you go through a coaching experience and you have enough people go through your coaching program, your course is going to create itself. So even if the end goal is an online course or a digital product of some kind, a coaching business is a great place to start. And then obviously, when you're spending your time coaching someone, you're going to be getting them amazing results because you're spending even more of your time to kind of handhold them through the process, as opposed to someone, losing steam, losing momentum, not having the accountability of meeting with you every single week. They're maybe going to drop off. They might not actually implement what you teach inside of your self-study course, but with a coaching program, you're that much more likely to get amazing, results and testimonials inside of your program that you can then use for the self-study offer, saying, hey, look at what my system has allowed someone to accomplish. So this is the high-level overview. Step 1, become a full-time coach. Have a full-time coaching income. This is what I did. I replaced my $72,000 salary. I was in corporate finance. I worked at a bank, and I was essentially able to sign 10 clients at $7,500 in the first 6 months and say, well, that is my entire annual salary right there, and I can grow this thing. And so I quit my full-time job, and I went all in on my coaching business. Step 2, you scale the coaching business. So you run ads and you launch a group program. This is what I did for $5,000 per client, and it was a $200,000 launch. And so in the first 13 months of my business, I made $550,000, which was like mind-blowing. It was absolutely insane considering what I was making in my corporate finance job. And so that's the path that I did. Then you productize the group program. So you take all the information that you taught inside of your group program, and you basically put it into a course. You put it into workbooks and videos and downloadable PDFs and Notion templates and worksheets and all the things. Okay, and you essentially create the course. That's step 3. And then step 4 is you scale with automations. So you are able to reach the masses because you're not spending all of your time creating, all your time helping your clients. Now, when someone purchases from you, there's no extra work on your end. So you're able to help 100 people, 300 people can buy your course, 500 people, 1,000 people, they can all buy your course. There's no additional work for you. All that you have to do is focus on the marketing side. And that's really where the fun part is, right? After you have a high ticket offer that's a online course, you're able to spend all of your time in the marketing side of your business, and only, especially if you have the automation set up, only if you want to, right? So for me, being active in the DMs is something that I actually enjoy, that I like being a part of in my business. And so I make the choice to be the one that manages my DMs when I could for sure outsource that. However, when it comes time to other more manual aspects in my business, I have set up automations not to deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. So there's certain choices that you can make as a business owner based on what you want to do. Now, there are, and this is across the board what I see, for course creators, aspiring course creators, there's 3 common mistakes of why they can't start making money online. So if you've tried to launch an online course, if you've tried to create a digital product, and for some reason it just hasn't taken off, maybe it sold a little bit, but it really hasn't gotten to the place where it's a full-time income that you can kind of kick back and grow, and you can quit all of your other side gigs. There's 3 common mistakes. So number 1 is that you skip step 1 and step 2 and you just jump right to creating a digital product. If you skip step 1 and step 2, so you create a digital product without ever having worked for that client, and you have no experience, no one's ever paid you to solve this problem, even if you know a ton about this issue, and you can get someone amazing results because you have so much knowledge, maybe you've walked in throughout this process in your own life, so you have the experience to pull from. But if you've never worked with someone and they have not paid you, you will be guessing and making some assumptions instead of allowing your audience to dictate what your course is. And that's on the product side, creating the course content. It's also on the marketing side, making assumptions because you think that this is what would get someone to purchase this digital product, when in reality, that is like not even an important issue. You would know that if you had worked with a ton of people inside of a coaching offer. Number 2, you get stuck in step 1 because your offer or your messaging is wrong. So you decide, okay, I will start with taking on a coaching client, but for some reason I can't sign that first client. Typically, the reason is because your offer is wrong or your messaging is off, and you need to go back and make sure that it's solidified and strong. It might just mean that you need to test something new, tweak some copy, come with a slightly different offer and see if that sticks. Or number 3, you get stuck in step 2 because you don't use paid ads. And so when you're trying to scale your business, you're relying 100% on your manual marketing activities. You're posting on social media, but you're not able to scale the volume that you need in order to grow your coaching business, because you're just not getting in front of enough people. If you start making money in your business in step one, I would highly recommend that you take a small percentage of the profits that you're making and start using some ads to reinvest and to really blow up your coaching business. You know it's good, you know it's working, because you have people that have paid you already. So you have that confidence. You have the ability to say, you know what? I know that if I have twice as many leads, I'm going to get twice as many sales. And then you can move forward and confidently spend money in ads. So that's what I see. And the ad strategies, you can 100%, I mean, if this is you, if you are a little bit nervous about running ads, I'm telling you right now, you are able to grow your business with ads, even if you know absolutely nothing. I've had people go through all of my programs, not just Launch1M, but also Ads Mastery. They had no clue how to run ads, and it's pretty simple. You got to keep it simple. You don't want to overcomplicate it. It's 100% possible to overcomplicate it, but it doesn't have to be that hard, that overcomplicated. Okay, so this is a quote that I heard. It was real, and Tom Brady said it, and I loved it, so I thought I would share it with you. The fish don't just jump in the boat. If you want to catch something, go out there and make it happen. I think that is so applicable to 99% of the entrepreneurs that are trying to grow a coaching business or to sell their digital product online. Is they just think that people are going, it's almost like they feel entitled to sales. They just think that if they create this offer, people are just going to come calling, just jump right in your boat. And it just doesn't work like that. You have to spend the time to put yourself out there, especially in the beginning. So yes, there's going to be a time in your business where if you set up the automations, you can scale it. But in the very beginning, there's going to be a lot of manual steps, most of which you don't want to do, but you need to do. Okay? So put yourself out there and make it happen. So let's talk about this first step, because if you're watching this and you're thinking, okay, I want to start an online business, I just don't know how. What I would say is 100% it's got to be some sort of coaching offer, even if it's just like signing 2 or 3 clients before you then transition to creating some sort of digital product. And what you need to do to have success as a coach is start with an income goal. What do you need to make? Have that be kind of your vision for what you need to make inside of this coaching business. For me, it was $6,000 per month. That was the magic number when I was in corporate finance, that if I could make $6,000 a month, I would be able to quit my corporate finance job and go all in, because then I know that I could feed my family, right? And so what's your number? And then as you go through this process, you don't have to do all the things. So, I showed you before this, let me show you right now, this graph here with this entire system. And here is a very similar system, but it doesn't include everything, right? So there's no low ticket offers. You don't have to start by creating any low ticket offers. You don't have to start with having a sales page. You can be as minimal as possible, as streamlined as possible, and just focus on creating content on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and you don't even have to run ads in the very beginning, but just creating content that generates new email subscribers. That's the key. We want to generate new email subscribers and send them through an email sequence that directs them to either talk with you on Instagram or to book a call with you. You don't need a sales page in the very beginning. And the reason is because a sales page is essentially the automated version of a sales call. So if you get really good at taking sales calls, you're going to know exactly what that sales conversation needs to be. You're going to be ready to write a sales page. But again, you're going to be making assumptions, writing a sales page that you think is going to do its job, and it's not, because you haven't done enough sales conversations. You haven't hopped on enough sales calls. So I highly recommend that you go through this process. It's a little bit more manual in the very beginning, but it's worth it to make sure everything works. And then you get your high ticket offer, you sell it, and then you can reinvest it back into ads over time. And instead of having any kind of content over here, the onboarding system just takes them to your coaching program, and then they get the results, and you inject the marketing back, the case studies back into your marketing. Okay, so a common question I get is, what if I'm not a new coach, but I can't seem to hit my full-time income? To this, I would say you're in a perfect place. If you are not a new coach, you have some sort of income that you've made as a coach, but for some reason it just hasn't taken off to be your full-time income. You are days or weeks away from being full-time because you already have the content for your audience. You probably already have some case studies, people that you've worked with in the past, so you can use that in your marketing, and you fully understand that client because you've already worked with someone who's willing to pay for you to help them, right? So you fully understand what the pain points are. You understand what the messaging needs to be to speak to that person. And now there's one of two things that we need to do to fix this problem. We either need to adjust your messaging, some things a little bit off. We need to go back in and improve your personal brand, or just sheer volume. Get in front of more people, have more people in your funnel going through your marketing experience, and then you'll have that much more opportunity to close the sale. Okay, I love this quote. It only takes one person to mobilize a community and inspire change. Even if you don't feel like you have it in you, it's in you. You have to believe in yourself, and people will see your vision and passion and follow you. Now, this is one of the things that I teach inside of my Launch with Them program. One of the biggest ways that you can increase the amount of sales that you get, especially when you hop on sales calls, is to have a sense of conviction, to speak with conviction. If you truly believe you can get someone results, then you in your marketing are going to be that much more confident and more direct and say like, hey, I know I can get you help because I have gotten other people amazing results, and you need to join this program because if you want those results, I can get them for you. And you have that conviction. And if someone doesn't hear that conviction in your voice, then they are that much more likely to say, you know what, maybe this offer isn't real, because if it was real, this guy would be talking way more, with way more passion, way more urgency to get me to join this program because it works and is real. Okay, so just remember that if you have any kind of hang up with sales at all, just remember conviction is the key. If you truly believe that you can get someone the results, then you should be able to speak from a place of authenticity. Like, I can get you results. I'm not trying to, scam anybody. I'm trying to get them signed up so that I can change their life, get that transformation that only you can help them get. Okay, now let's pivot. So step 2, now let's talk about automation. Here's my definition of automation. Automation is a simulation of what's already working manually. If it's working manually, then you're in a perfect place to automate it. If you have social media posts and you get a bunch of engagement, a bunch of comments, and a bunch of DM conversations started because of your posts, then you can use those posts and the ideas and the frameworks that you have inside of that content, and you can run amazing ads and get amazing results, because all you have to do is choose your best performing organic content, and now you're ready to start running ads. There's the same thing with your sales conversation. So if you're on a sales call, if you're selling to someone in your DMs, if you can somehow, and that's a very manual process, time consuming, but if you can somehow harness whatever it is that needs to be said, limiting beliefs that need to be addressed, aha moments that need to be had, that you would normally have in those conversations one-on-one with someone, and you can put all of those most important messages and concepts into a sales page, then it will work. Okay, so if it's working manually, you can automate it. If it's not working manually, it will not work on autopilot. It just won't. Okay, so that's the process. So now let's talk about scaling your coaching business. So let's say that you've done the hard work and you have a coaching business, you have some clients. Now it's time to automate. Okay, so this is the next thing that we're going to be doing. In this step, we're going to be doing some retargeting ads. We're going to be beefing out your content with even more stuff. And we might even have some VSLs, some video sales letters. But when you're ready to scale, there's other things that you can do outside of just running ads. And there are all these things in red that you can do to outsource. So you can have an editor, someone that helps you create your content for social media, whether it's on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube. So an editor. You can have a setter, someone that handles those conversations in your DMs and takes you out of that process, saves you a bunch of time. You can have a closer, someone who hops on sales calls. So you can have a sales team. and they can close sales for you on a sales call without you being the one that hops on there. Once someone does buy, you can save yourself time, yes, by having a course, curriculum for clients. They can go and watch pre-recorded content that you've already recorded. You can also have a client success manager. You can have someone that their job is to help those paying clients get better results. And that's outside of you. You don't have to spend any of your time doing that. So these are all really good ideas of ways that you can leverage your time. You can hire other people to come into the process with you, and you can build strategic automations inside of your sales process so that you can take some serious steps back from the day-to-day of the business. Okay, one question I get a lot is, how much do I have to spend on ads to start seeing results? And the answer is, you don't have to spend a ton. You don't have to go first thing and spend $100 a day. Like, first of all, that's very overwhelming. If you've never spent money on ads, $100 a day might give you a panic attack. Okay, so you can start small. Start with $5 a day, $10 a day, $20 a day. But once you make your first few sales, you're going to be addicted. You're going to be like, okay, how can I get this thing going even more and growing even more? That's just the way it works. But I'm a big believer in keeping ads super simple. You don't have to overcomplicate things. And once you find an ad that works, you only need that one ad, right? I mean, it's great to test more ads. It's great to get a whole campaign full of a bunch of different ads so that you're not burning out your audience with one specific creative. But at the same time, if something is working, keep it going. Put more money behind it. Put more ad spend behind it if it's a good ad and it's getting amazing results. Okay, so now let's talk about the reinvestment cycle. Because once you have something that's working, where if you spend money in ads, you're getting a return on the back end, then you can just be a disciplined reinvestor. This is how you scale a business. And so if you're spending $1,000 a month in ads, that's what is that, $30 a day, something really low. But let's just say everything is set up correctly. All of your systems are set up right, and you have messaging that works, and people are signing up and paying for your offers. So you make $5,000 in sales. Okay, so we'll take some of the profit and reinvest it, and then keep reinvesting it. And that's how you scale your business. And it does seem like common sense, but how do you triple sales? You just triple your ad spend, and you keep your costs level. You keep your cost per result constant. You don't have to triple the amount of social media content that you're putting out there. You don't have to triple, the amount of effort that you're putting into making sales and generating leads, because you can just increase your ad spend. Okay, so with that being said, what I want you, here's another quote. We were placed on earth to fulfill a purpose, and that purpose is what gives meaning to our lives. You were sent to the world to make an impact and to make a difference. If you're watching this and you have a desire to have some sort of coaching business, that means you have a heart for helping a specific type of person solve a specific type of problem. You may already know what that problem is, or maybe you're really starting from complete scratch. You have absolutely no idea what problem you can help solve. Either way, I fully believe that you are able to get someone amazing results, right? If there's a skill, there's the experience that you have in your life, there's a knowledge that you have, to where if you can pull from that experience and knowledge and channel it towards someone in need, that you would be able to make an incredible impact in their life. And at the end of the day, that's what a business is. A business is a problem-solving entity. It just solves problems, and people are willing to pay to have those problems solved. And if you want to grow a coaching business, all you have to do is find a big enough pain and then learn how to solve that problem. Okay? Very, very simple. And you can have an exponential impact in the world because of you showing up and helping people solve that problem. So Launch 1M, it's my signature program. It helps coaches create an online course and scale to $50,000 to $100,000 a month. And this is perfect for you if your end goal is complete automation. If you want to have digital products, if you want to have an online course, if you want to use ads and create an email sequence and set up a sales page and have everything working really well, like how I explained with my business when I was going through the separation and divorce, when your life is falling apart and you need something there in place that's predictable, that even if I were to have absolutely no energy to show up for my business, this business is going to be there and going to generate money for my family, for me, for my family. It's huge. And so if that's your end goal, if you want that security of knowing that you can be good no matter what life throws at you, because if it hasn't already, life will throw something at you. And so it's always amazing to have something that will be able to sustain you through the ups and the downs that you'll face. And that's what students inside of Launch 1M are able to do. They're able to take back their time and give them the freedom then to go do the things that they want to do in their life, and just know that they have a business that's generating leads on autopilot, nurturing those leads, converting those leads, and serving those coaching clients or course students without them being actively involved. And that's what the automated system is able to do for you. So I also have a little bit of a gift for you as well. So at the bottom of this video, and I'm, again, completely new to YouTube, so I'm not exactly sure how this works, but I think what I'll be able to do is link it in the description below, is going to be my lead magnet and ManyChat automations kit. And so if you want to start generating some DM conversations, you want to start getting some really qualified leads in your Instagram DM inbox, then this is an amazing first step. This is a simple automation. It's a one-click install, so it doesn't take a ton of time to set up inside of your business, but it has amazing results, especially if you're trying to use Instagram, the platform, to generate those leads and to grow your coaching business or your online course business. So check it out. I'll link it in the description below, and then I'll see you for the next episode.